How's it going, boys and sirs? We're going to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. If you like the stop motion, let me know in the comments down below, because that's something that I did before and I kind of went away from it for a little bit. So if it's something you're looking for, want to have that in more videos, do let me know. And then also, this one is provided by Benchmade to the Apex Pass-Around group, so thank you very much to them. Something really cool about Benchmade, I went down to the factory and actually saw that they have the laser engraver and actually saw it firsthand as far as how that operates. And it actually is a really cool setup. So you can actually get your name engraved onto it. Business, if you have a pattern you want to put onto it, you can actually put a pattern on the whole blade. So that's something is really cool. I actually did think that was actually a pretty good idea, and something I might do later on as far as another blade. But this one actually is one that's in 3V steel. So 3V is going to be one that's touted for kind of a toughness as far as its composition. So the corrosion resistance is pretty low, as far as about 5 percentile, but that is going to be something that is protected by the coating for the blade too. So that's where, now really, if you're in an area that is going to be really heavy salt environment or high humidity, you might see something with it, but most times if you just take care of the blade, you're not going to really have any issues with that corrosion side of things. And then also for the edge retention side, in comparison to a lot of the super steels out there, so really it's not a bad steel. So some of the testing that happened, it did come in a little bit low. So basically the aimed hardness about 58 to 60, some were coming about 56, so a little bit lower on the scale. So that's where they did address some of those things. So that's going to be something that maybe you would not have noticed on your own, but it is something that did come up as far as some of the testing for that. So just be mindful for that when you make your purchase, if that's going to be something that's really important to you. They do have the lifetime sharpening for it too. So if you are finding it that is going dull a lot faster than you expect, you can ask them about it and they'll work with you as well. So for this one, as far as hand sizing, we'll look at the adult female hand as far as how that's going to look for you. And then we'll also look at the adult male hand. For this one, as far as the weight goes, it's really, really negligible as far as the difference between this and a Bugout. So this one is basically 2 ounces, and a Bugout is 1.9. So you get a little bit more handle with it. So that's where, really, that's probably where some of the weight comes from. But 0.1 ounces, 0.1 ounces is fairly small in comparison to what you get. So that's going to be the 2 blades that you have here between a Bugout and a Bailout. So Bugout on the bottom, Bailout on the top. So different blade styles. So this one does fit. So over at Zach's stuff, he went and actually switched the blade over, so you could actually put this blade in here, but it does hit the backspacer on this side. So you're going to have to actually modify the grind on it to actually have this blade work in this handle. So that's actually what I would prefer, is actually to have a regular drop point type of blade here, because I personally don't like tanto blades too much. But this one actually does offer, at least on this model comparison, at least that I have, this one actually has a smoother action for it. I actually don't mind having the pommel out there. It doesn't really add too much as far as sticking out of your pocket, because both of them do have the same pocket clip for the blade. So that one is this pocket clip, and it has the exposed lanyard hole, and this one has the same pocket clip, and then the lanyard hole is going to be on the top. So really not too much difference for that as far as what's going to be sticking out of your pocket. And you'll see in here as far as the comparison between the Bailout and the Bugout, between those two. So I'll leave these up here so you can kind of take a look at them as far as the difference on that. So for pricing wise, so about $144.50 is what you're going to be getting that for, and then MSRP about $170. So if these are the type of things you're looking for, please subscribe, and also if you actually have any input, please let me know as well. So Lyman pull gauge for this one, it does run about 1 pound, 5 ounces. So actually to get the blade open, so actually the weight it takes to actually pull this open, it's going to be about 1 pound, 5 ounces. So that's going to be pretty decent, at least for most flippers. It's about 2 to 3 pounds, which is really comfortable. So something with thumb studs, it does normally have a little bit lower, so that actually does operate really well for it. And this one actually does not have the inertia drop type of action that you're going to get from some other blades. So it is something you can do, kinda, but not really. So just the way that and the axis lock works for it. It actually retains the blade really well in there. So if that's important to you, then this actually works out pretty well. So for deployment side, you're going to have the thumb stud deployment, which is very simple. And then you do have a middle finger deployment, but it is a little bit more difficult, at least for my side, because it doesn't have a lot of clearance between the actual scale and the thumb stud. But the actual thumb deployment works the best, in my opinion, for it. You can still do a pinch and roll as far as the point it out if you do want to actually have it be less scary to some folks. But that's going to be how you're going to do that. So you can even do a pinch and roll with one hand a little bit slower. So this one has, as far as the blade length, about 3.35 for the tanto, and for that one is a flat grind, basically on both the primary here and also for the tanto tip. And then the actual behind edge thickness is about 6 sheets of paper. So basically take 6 sheets of paper out of your printer, and that's going to be that thickness behind the edge, about 25 thousandths. Tip of it is going to be a little bit thicker, about 40 thousandths. And then this one did have a little bit of an uneven grind, so from one side to another. So basically this one side had about a 0.33 as far as the measurement on it. This one's a 0.48, and that's thousandths. So that would be a little bit different for it. So about 29 degrees inclusive for the actual sharpness on that, for the actual sharpness angle or the grind angle. So that's going to be something that's really decent for it. It's not perfect, but you can fix that up if you have the fixtured system. If you do have an issue with that, and then you could send it in. If you have a store that you can actually handle these in person, then you can take a look at it to see if there's a variance that you actually like the best for that as well. So for this, for the price point difference, so from this is about $119, and then then this one is going to be about $144. So is that going to be worth it for you? And that's where you have to decide as far as, okay, do I need a larger handle size? Do I want the tanto blade? And do I want the pommel? So for the action side, I was actually really surprised that, at least on my Bugout, it's not as smooth as the Bailout. So it still works fine, but to get it to the point where there's not a lot of blade play, mine doesn't actually fall very well. But this one doesn't have blade play, and it actually does extremely well. So that's actually a very enjoyable aspect about the Bailout compared to my Bugout. And probably throughout this video, I was referring to one or another by the wrong name, which is very possible. But Bugout, Bailout, that's going to be how that is. And really, I think this is kind of an iteration of the same knife. So really, this could be the Bugout tanto, and this could be the Bugout drop point for that. So all of those things included, I'd say to pick it up if you do love those things. If not, then check out the Bailout or the Bugout, as I did it again. So check out the Bugout if you like this type of blade style. Check out this one as far as the Bailout if you like this blade style. So it's both ways. You're going to be really good and actually probably satisfied with what you pick up for that. If you have any questions, comments, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you again for your time.